Hello, and welcome to the Passion on Purpose Leaders on Center Stage podcast. I am Steph, and I'm the owner and creative director at VIM. VIM's mission is to showcase the enthusiasm and passion of business leaders nationwide. I cannot wait to have you listen to the show and stick around. At the end, we talk a little bit about how you can be my next guest. All right, we are back with another episode. I'm so excited. We have Dean Soto with Pro Sulam. He's also a podcast host, which is so exciting to have you on. As a newbie myself, I just love getting to glean from other hosts, and I'm just a natural learner, so I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. If anyone has been listening to past episodes, you're going to realize that I'm flipping the script a little bit today, unrehearsed. Dean has no idea what I am talking about, but we're going to roll with it. And I'm going to dive in with one of my harder questions. You're probably, yeah, exactly. You're like, you could have warned me for that one. No, but I really think that this question naturally will lead into what we typically start with. And so I just think it's a good way to go. And I want to just start with, Dean, what is your why?
Oh, that's I actually have, that's good. That's actually good. So I actually have two whys. I have a selfish why.
Ooh, I love that.
Literally 100% selfish. And then the other one is actually much more altruistic. And it's kind of along the same vein, but I have always, since I can remember, even in middle school, elementary school, and so on and so forth, I am naturally lazy. And I mean, I'm like unapologetically lazy. I will find the fastest, easiest way to get something done or hand it off as fast as possible. And it allows me to do what I want. And a friend of mine, Richard Matthews, he coins the term aggressively lazy. So I will work as hard as I can to never have to do something again. And that allows me to go on vacation. Like next week, I'm going on a beachfront vacation to Newport Beach, California with my family. I have a business meeting down there that's about 3 days with some high-level business people that are much further along than I am as well, which is great. And so all of that allows me to have the time to do podcast interviews, to do things like this. Earlier today, I went to take my second eldest daughter to the orthodontist, and then after that we went and had crepes, and then we went and had ice cream, and got to spend 4 or 5 hours with her in the morning just doing whatever, you know. And so that's my selfish one. But the altruistic side is I know that everybody else can do that, and I want everybody else who's in my sphere to have the opportunity to do that. I enjoy working. I love working. I love working on things that are exciting and that I'm passionate about and so on. And I want others to be able to do that exact same thing and not just grind on the mundane stuff. And so whether it's creating systems or delegating or finding some automated tool to do something, that's teaching people or helping people to do that is my ultimate why, because I know that when they're free, they'll actually help with my selfish why as well. So they kind of play into each other.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And that, we don't even know yet what you do, right? We don't know. We know Pro Sulam is something, right? We know you're a podcast host, but what I love is, okay, there's some things I like that Dean's spending time with family. I'm a family person. I'd like to be able to do that. I'm like intrigued, right? And then he's also got this giving back piece. Well, if he gets it, other people should get it. Yep. So that leads me to my next question is, where does the passion for either of those whys come from, right?
Yeah. It's funny. I've always wanted to help people ever since I was young. And I grew up being like hating. This sounds super weird the way that I'm going to say this, but it's the way it is. I hated the fact that I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know if I was going to be a doctor, a dentist, a all these things that my family said I should be. I was a generalist. I honestly, I would start something, I wouldn't finish it, and I move on to the next, the next, next. And I thought it was a curse.
Mm.
Ultimately, I thought literally up until about 29 years old. I'm 41 now. I thought, is someone coming in my office? I'm on a podcast.
Work from home life, pros and cons.
Here, can you yeah, just take my phone and I'll let you in. I have to move my Tesla.
Just take my phone. It's the key. This is the life we live in.
Sorry. Yeah, I have some contractors doing some things.
No worries.
So, yeah, so I was a generalist, and I'm like, you know, for a long time I just thought I wasn't going to go anywhere. And then through a ton of hard work and through starting my business when I already had a family, which was hard enough as it is, I had to figure out how to not spend so like literally have two full-time jobs or more. And eventually I figured out how to do it for my own sake so that I can support my stay-at-home wife, support my now 9 kids.
Wow.
And yeah, and be able to just eventually do what I wanted. It was hard in the beginning, but essentially everything was about it. It really focused my mind on moving from making money to time. How can I maximize my time as much as possible? What am I spending my money on that'll help me to save time, things like that. And so once I figured that out, I'm like, dude, there's so many other husbands, wives, and just even single entrepreneurs who need that type of mindset, that type of help. And so it kind of, my whole business kind of that, which, you know, the best part is when people actually use what I have and they start spending a ton of time on the stuff they're actually passionate about. So yeah.
So one of your passions is time. You're passionate about time.
Big time. It's funny. Just to give you an example of how literally, I know that it's probably not the best term, how Nazi I am.
It's okay.
Saving time. Like spending time like this. If you were like, dude, if you're a dean, hey, can I have 2 hours of your time and we'll talk? Generally, I'd be like, yeah, no problem, because we're like, you know, this is important to me. This is something I enjoy.
Yeah.
There, you know, 2 hours on an operations call or something like that. No agenda. Let's go. But I'll give you just a slight example. And some people are going to think I am wasteful with my money. Some people are, when you hear this, you're going to think, whoa, you are, I don't know what you would call, but so my wife goes and orders a dollhouse on Amazon for one of my younger daughters. And it was Amazon's choice, so it must be good, right?
Right. I see where this is going.
And she gets it, and the directions suck. Half of the thing's breaking as she's building it. She's like, hey, can you help me build this thing? And I'm sitting there for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to build the thing, and I'm screwing in this one screw, and because the stuff's so cheap, if you unscrew the screw and try and put it back in, it can't catch. And so now I have to go and tape things up or whatever. I literally told her, I'm not wasting my time on this anymore. It's going to take me 2-3 hours to do. I'm not wasting my time on this. Throw it away and order a real wood thing. And she's like, no, you know, it cost X amount of dollars and so on. I'm like, you literally have cost me thousands of dollars already by my time. No, just throw it away and order another one. And she's learned by now that I will not relent. I will grab the thing myself. I will go and toss it. I'll burn it on our burn pile. I don't care what it is. It's gone. And some people might think that's wasteful, but I'd rather waste $100 on a new, like on getting a new one. So $200. Hey, thank you so much. You're the best. Oh, no, it's all good. I love technology. See, like even with that. yeah, I'd rather spend that literally $100 wasted
Right.
than, my time, which has become much, much more valuable than that. So,
Well,
uh,
and it's not just your time, right? It's your daughter's and maybe even your wife's time of seeing
totally,
you frustrated, right? Seeing
totally.
you frustrated, seeing you flustered, not spending quality time. And so not only do you gain by spending a little, and you don't know, right? Amazon's choice. I fall for that all the time. But not only do you gain a higher quality product, you gain more quality time when said product comes in and you actually get to like see your daughter playing with it. Play with her instead of building it and having it fall
Exactly.
apart. Uh,
Exactly.
I don't, everyone knows that time is valuable, right? There's the saying, time is money. But for you're the first to have come on and have had the answer of like, where does passion come to, so, to sign kind of give weight to your why and really hone in on that element of time.
Oh, that's cool. Yes, I'm the first.
Right. But
Yeah,
I mean, you have such glaringly obvious reasons why. I mean, 9 kids, family, business. I mean, I'm sure podcast, I think you had mentioned a couple businesses, podcast hosts. So time is absolutely of the essence. Not that it isn't for everyone, but you were able to like really hone in on if I don't lock down time and maximize time, then I'm just going to be spinning all the time. Is that kind of how you felt?
100%. And it's funny because I actually have a lot of time on my hands in the sense of I can do whatever I want now. Even though I have a multinational business, I literally have hundreds of people around the world working for me, hundreds of clients around the world that are my clients. But I can do essentially whatever I want.
Hmm.
When we get off this podcast, I'm going to be watching my kids for the next when we get off like 2 or 3 hours because my wife's taking one of my daughters to her dance class that's in the city.
Yeah.
E- but it's not that it's not that because my schedule is booked up, I need to be really Nazi-ish with my time. It's more of that time is so valuable that if you're not like
Hmm.
ruthlessly seeing it as valuable and that it's more valuable than money, you can always get more money. This is not from me. This is from Peter Drucker, Effective Executive. Read that book a long time ago and it's stuck with me. But you can always get more money. I can literally go to the bank right now, apply for a line of credit, get a couple thousands of dollars to
Right.
get it for my business. And it sounds, yeah, that's nice and easy to do, but it's honestly what you can do.
Right.
Whereas with time, it never comes back. And so the more practice you have with this, it's cool because now you can build businesses. A lot of people look at Elon Musk and they think Tesla. And then they're like, oh yeah, yes, SpaceX. Oh, but they don't realize that he also has literally 12 other companies. Boring Company. He has all these other companies. Same thing with Jeff Bezos. He has Zappos, Whole Foods, Amazon, Basecamp. He's an investor in now.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah, which I didn't know that. They're actually one of
I
my
didn't either.
heroes. uh, so on and so forth. And dude, it, that's when you have that mindset, then you can start building around. You can build a bigger business when you focus your mind like that. So
Yeah. So how did you take these like this altruistic why, this selfish why, or this personal why? What did you called it, a selfish why? Did I say that word or did you?
yeah.
I have a selfish why too, so I'm not judging. I love it. And then also, right, what you're passionate is about, okay, time. So it's like, how did these two whys and this one passion, and I'm sure you have more passions, but right, let's focus on that. How did those collide and come to create Pro Sulam? And what is that? And how are you helping, like you said, hundreds of clients across the country with time?
Yeah. So two things that I quickly realized when I built my business was that if you are the single point of everything, your business is not going to grow. You can keep all the
Mm,
profit, but your revenue is going to stagnate at some point in time.
Like when you're the bottleneck, right? When like everything funnels through you. Okay.
Totally. And it's easy. That's in the very beginning. Obviously, you have to do that. The other thing is that when you get to that certain point where you're kind of hitting the ceiling, two problems happen. One is, okay, I realize I need to bring somebody else on board. Here in the United States, pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think I'm being too cheap or something. I don't know. But I look at everybody else who's hiring in-house employees, and I'm thinking, why would you do that? Why? It sounds so bad. I'm ex-military, Army, intelligence analyst, and I love being in the United States of America. However, um, when you hire employees, it is very expensive and there's a lot of risk.
Yeah.
And when I started outsource, I actually started outsourcing before I even had my actual business. I started in about like 2007. I quickly saw that, that's interesting, that in the United States, you're essentially penalized for hiring somebody in the United States, either minimum wage, you're going to pay more. And I'm not knocking, I'm actually not of any political party at all. I don't, whatever. So I'm more of a anarchist libertarian, I guess you would say, maybe. But I'm getting penalized by how expensive it is. But then also, especially in California, you have so many taxes, so many regulations,
Mm-hmm.
so many opportunities for the people who work with you to do really bad things to you. I have friends who run very large businesses over here that if you come to California, that you've probably eaten at because there's so many of them around, who they let go of an employee. The employee said it was wrongful termination, and they lost millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Ugh.
Just the
Yeah.
way it is. And
Right.
so those two factors for me, immediately I said, I ended up reading the 4-Hour Work Week, which a lot of people have read, and which gives you it just gives you the mindset shift, but gives you like no
No
practical.
tangibles. Yeah. A lot of books do that.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, this sounds great. And then I go
Now
out and try
how?
and exactly. And I mess up like for 2 years and then figure out whatever it is. But I read that book, talked about outsourcing, and I started just figuring out how to outsource. And so yeah, I essentially what Pro Sulam is a lot of people don't know how to outsource. There's places to go. There's Upwork, there's Hubstaff Talent, there's onlinejobs.ph. There's a whole bunch of different places you can go right now and get people. Now you have to figure out how to hire them. Now you have to test them and so on. So it solves that one problem. So it's we have these types of people that you essentially work with us. We give you someone who's dedicated and they work with you. However, the other thing that comes along with this is, how do you lead these people? How do you train these people? And that all comes down to building out documented step-by-step systems, which is a whole problem in and of itself that we could talk about or something. And what my guys specifically do is, you show them what you're doing already, they'll document it step by step, exactly what you're doing with pictures and everything, to where literally you can hand it to your grandma and your grandma can come work for you and do whatever it is you need her to do, so that you're not sitting there training them. You're not spending hours and so on. So this person literally is like out of the box, will duplicate you, will do essentially everything you're doing, other than that like 1% that really truly only you can do, because it's your personality, your twists in who you are, and out of the box. And that's how you're able to start saving time massively and do the things that you want to do.
I love it. And what I love too is right? We started backwards, right? This has been a fun exercise, by the
That's
way.
easy.
We started backwards. And what we also lifted was your ideal target audience
Mm-hmm.
is going to share very similar to how we started this. They are selfish with their time.
Mm-hmm.
They are giving with their knowledge, right? Whether it's a product or a service or what have you. But they're still only, like Dean and like Steph, one person.
Mm-hmm.
So my question, and we'll wrap things up because I know I've kept you longer than I said I would. My question is, there are numerous agencies and numerous businesses that, support in this way or different, I'm sure you have a really different element, but the ones that I see that are really thriving and doing well are the ones that throughout their brand year after year after year, they really instill their why and they instill that passion so purposefully. So how have you with Pro Salam, Sulam, how are people feeling that or seeing that? How do you bleed that through the brand intentionally?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really goes along with what you do, and which I sucked at so badly when I first started. Literally, prosulum means for everyone, and
Oh, okay.
Latin, and that's like the worst marketing and branding you can have.
That's not very targeted.
Seriously, so that was 2009 when it sounded cool, and I was like, yeah, I could serve everyone. I could figure. It was so dumb. It was just, but I kept it, and it's worked. But yeah, so it's cool because for me, two how do I want to say it? Obviously, being stingy with your time and understanding of systems. And I know it's probably where like there is kind of like a lot involved. There's a great book out there called Work the System. It's free. If you go to their site, I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. They just changed my life because when it comes to a guy named Sam Carpenter, and in fact he said he was going to be on my podcast a couple years ago, and he flaked and never.
Oh, we'll have to send this podcast to him and tell him, come on, get on Dean's show and then come on Steph's show.
I don't want you on my show now. I'm just kidding.
We won't send this to him then.
But yeah, one of the things with having that like stingy with your time mindset is realizing that the only way you can really delegate, it's the only way that Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, Mark Cuban, Marcus Lemonis is probably the one that brings it most to the mainstream, is that you have to have process. You have to have documented process. Videos don't cut it. You don't see somebody behind the fryer
right,
like pressing a video thing at a McDonald's. No, like they have documented, this is how long you do whatever, right? And so that book changed my life. And the reason why I bring that up to answer your question is all of my marketing, from the time you hit the page to the emails that go out, everything pretty much is based around systems and systems mindset. When you schedule a discovery call with us, whether it's at freedomin5minutes.com or prosulum.com, either one, we will literally kick people out if there's a I don't want to cheat it, but if someone so there's a answer where it's simple. It says, hey, do you have a standard operating procedure? And if they say no, that's fine. But the next question is it important to you?
yeah.
And if it's not, then we will say, well, go to my outdesk. We'll just go to myoutdesk.com, like they're an agency, or Belay, or one of these other ones, because you have to realize how important systems are if you're going to start delegating. I always tell people, think of what it was like when you first started your first job. If they didn't have their own little process of how you clean, how you do this, it would be very difficult for you. And when someone just says, hey, just go do this, you're a branding expert, Steph, just go brand. Like can take my just this is my company, go do it. I don't ask me questions. Don't
Right.
ask for my that you're gonna be like, okay, and then you come back and show them something, and they're like, that's not what I wanted. You know, it doesn't work. And so for us, if you're not systems mindset, and if you don't have that systems mindset, if you don't have like time Nazi mindset, you're going to be kicked to somebody else. And it's funny, some people are like, you're gonna get rid of clients and prospects. I'm like, yeah. I don't want, you're gonna hate me. I already don't like you yet, because we don't have not like you in the sense of you're not a good fit. Let's just say you're probably a great person, but I know I'm not gonna like you as a client. I just know I can feel it. And so I'd rather just give you to somebody else, and then you can go try them out, and sometimes people come back, and it is what it is.
I can't help but like point out though, your name is hilarious now that I know it's for everyone. And you literally just told me how we get rid of half of them.
Isn't that
It's okay, Dean. It's okay. We'll keep this between you and me and the listeners.
That is so funny. I didn't even catch that one too. Like I was like, okay, yeah.
But I think what if I, if I put my branding hat on real quick, to me though, what you provide to clients is truly for everyone. But the key factor isn't that, it's not for everyone. It's, do you value it?
Totally.
Right. And so when someone comes in and says, Dean, I don't value this, then it's not that what I offer isn't for you. It very much is. You just have yet to realize the value it plays in your business. Totally. And so until you're there, we're going to, politely have you go here. And when you're ready, we'll be right here waiting and for you to check mark yes.
That's so true. It's so good. And it's so funny because that's exactly like, it's like, that's exactly what the kind of the spirit is behind that. And I've had many clients. I have had clients who absolutely, or prospects who became clients who hated me, like literally hated me when I kicked them to the curb. They were like, I've never had this happen before, and yada yada. And then they go try other places trying to do the thing. I don't know. They end up reading Clockwork. I have I've had clients where they basically left and came back. They're like, oh, we get it now. All right. And they've been amazing. I have one client who does the franchise development for some of the biggest franchises out there, like fast casual food franchises, who they literally did not find the value in it at all until they read the book Clockwork at some point in time. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, this is amazing. All right. And he's like one of my best clients now. And so, yeah, it's exactly what you say. It's for everyone, but
when they're ready. Yeah, I love it. Gosh, well, for any of the listeners who are like resonating, which I know so many are going to be resonating with what you've been sharing, because what you do really applies to any type of business, right? You've used examples as like food, right? We all eat. And I mean, even my own business my business thrives off of some of the services that I know you offer. So there's no one who wouldn't benefit from having a conversation with you or I guess working with you. So if somebody is listening, if the audience is wanting to connect with you, what is the best way to do that? I know you have many ways. I'll just let you say.
Yeah, I mean, the two biggest ways are freedomin5minutes.com. There's like a masterclass on there that kind of goes into this whole thing. And prosulum.com, which is prosulum.com. I literally have to spell that out every podcast episode that I do because no one will be able to spell that. But yeah, those are the two places. And there's like a cool little documentary, like a whole Hollywood production on prosulum.com that goes through all of this type of stuff. It's pretty cool. And
I love it. Awesome. Yeah, well, I'll make sure in the show notes that you guys have those links. And I totally get you on spelling your name. Vim is fun. But hey, we make it work, right?
Yep.
Well, thank you again, Dean, for coming on. This has been the most fun impromptu flip of the script. Pretty sure it's going to become a staple for the show. So I love that you helped me with that. And until next time, we'll talk to y'all later. Steph here. Thank you so much for listening to the Passion on Purpose Leaders on Center Stage podcast. If you are a successful business owner and you lead your business with passion, we'd love to feature you on our show. We'd love to share with the world what makes your business great and how you have intentionally led passion throughout your business. Also, if you got any value or little tidbits from this episode, please take a minute to screenshot the episode and share it on your favorite social media platform. Be sure to tag us so we can properly thank you, and we love deepening our connection with our listeners. We are regularly putting out new episodes to feature leaders such as yourself who lead with passion on purpose. So be sure to subscribe to our show so you don't miss any future episodes. For more episodes, guest information, or details on the show, please visit getvim.com/passion on purpose. That's getvim.com/passion on purpose. Once again, I'm Steph. I am the owner and creative director at Vim, and thank you for listening to the show.